Nigel Chambers here from Big Gold Belt Media, San Diego Comic
Big
Con
Gold Belt.
2025. The legendary, the iconic Robert Kirkman. How you doing?
Hello.
I gotta ask you just right off break. I mean, there's not a Comic Con without you. Are you still having fun?
Gosh, I mean, there have been some Comic Cons without me. Am I still having fun? Yeah, I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
It's my feet hurt.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a little hot.
yeah.
I don't know where I am or who I am or
Yeah.
where or how I am, but it's still neat. There's colors.
And the reason I ask is because like every Comic Con is like maybe he takes a break, maybe he brings in something light, or maybe he just reflects off of last year's work. But no, each and every year, new projects, expanding universes, video games.
If you're gonna do Comic Con, you got to do Comic Con.
Clearly,
You go bigger, you go
the
home.
blueprint right here.
Yeah, come on.
So much to talk about here. So, do we go to Skinbreaker yet first? Do we go to Energon Universe, or do we go to Invincible Versus? Oh my God, that broke the internet there.
It's up to you, man. You're in charge here.
How
You
you
do
feeling?
whatever you like.
How you feeling?
I don't know, man. You want to do Invincible Versus first?
Yeah, man.
Get that one out of the way.
Yeah, incredible. It's funny because I said to myself, I was like, man, the fighting scene has gotten a little weak, I would say. And then this came out of nowhere. I don't think I seen a rumor or anything. I know you didn't mention it last year, I don't believe.
Yeah, well, it's
And
funny.
here
We
we are.
started developing it in what seemed like a lull for fighting games and also a lull for tag fighters in
Yeah.
particular. And then as it gets closer to the announcement, then it seems to be a very crowded space with some absolutely awesome games coming out. So I think that we're in great company, and it's a really great time for fighting game fans. And there's going to be a lot of awesome games coming out soon.
It is. It is. I remember when I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, some fan made that. It looks great." And now I start digging deeper. I was like, "Oh, what a time to be alive!" We got to know about the story here. Are we going to have any type of narrative surprises or original storylines unique to the game?
There's definitely an original storyline unique to the game. There's a little story adventure that gives you some context for what's happening, which is really cool. And I'm really excited about it. It features some really fun villains that I'm really interested in, and yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. And I think that. We had a lot of success with Walking Dead by making every iteration of The Walking Dead additive to the overall experience. It wasn't always just, here's Rick Grimes and he's killing zombies again.
Yeah.
We'd add new characters, go to new destinations, and, new corners of the world. And we're very much doing that with this game as well. This is a whole new corner of the Invincible Universe that you get to explore in a completely different way, and it's going to provide you with some unique insights into what's going on in the overall tapestry of the universe, which will be pretty fun.
As a fan of yours, I would love for you to continue to work and expand everything, so as long as you can. But it looks like we don't have sleep in your future at all. Already talk about expanding, we haven't even had it drop yet. But honestly, that's what I was going to ask, is about like spinoffs and sequels. Omni-Man possibly getting a solo game or anything. So have you like thought what step 2 looks like just yet? Or are you just open to a lot
I
of
mean,
different things?
as far as like Invincible versus spin-off games, like it's definitely too early to be thinking about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But there's a lot of different plans for different kinds of games in
Okay.
the Invincible universe. We already did the Adam Eve story game that came out,
Sure,
and
sure,
so
yeah.
we'll be doing. We've got the Guarding the Globe game that's on mobile, and there'll definitely be some other things on the horizon, some different genres that we'll be exploring, and different kinds of games, and also different characters that could be the focus of those games.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go to Skinbreaker here, and this is obviously with David Finch. Talk about the collaboration right there first off.
Oh my gosh. I mean, David Finch is one of the best artists who have ever drawn comics in the history of comics. He is absolutely spectacular. Every line he puts on the page is enthralling. There's so much energy to his work, so much emotion to his work, and being able to work with him is an absolute dream. And it was a true collaborative process. I was writing the story as he was drawing it because we knew this was going to be a very like long form, involved story. And his work was inspiring my script as I was writing and continuing ahead. He would add little nuances to the characters and details in their costumes and weapons that they would carry that would inspire like a backstory I wasn't necessarily planning to introduce, or different tangents in the story that I wasn't really planning to explore. And it was just a true like labor of love to be able to work with him.
Yeah, title alone, it sounds visceral. So I am curious, like the concept behind it. But like, Also, like, how dark are we getting here?
I mean, it's one of my books, so it's not going to be, happy time fun fest. But yeah, I think that no, it's a story of a primitive society that's on the brink of extinction. So already,
Yeah.
and there's dangers all around, and they have a way of life that is not accustomed to this, that is not acclimated to this. And our hero Anak is trying to change their ways because he has found a path that he thinks will get them through these trials. And there's a lot of resistance from within, which stems to or leads to a lot of conflict. And there's some killing and some fighting, and yeah.
And I'm curious about, like, how long has this been in the works? Can you talk about, how's it evolved since concept to get to this point?
Yeah, I think I talked a little bit about how the story evolved with working with David, but I will say that I wanted him to have the room to breathe, the room to spend as much time as he felt needed, that he felt like he needed to on the page to make the pages exactly what he wanted them to be, because most artists in the comic book industry are usually working on a deadline, and they're very rushed. And that is why, schedules tend to slip, because when you're rushing, there's no room to breathe. There's no room to trip. Any thing that happens, you lose time. And so with this book, we started this 8 years ago. And he has been working away on me, and he decided to do the pages twice the size of what you normally draw them at. So that's why when you look at this book, you can see this insane level of detail. Every half page is a full page. Every 2-page spread is 4 pages of art. I mean, these are giant poster-sized drawings that he was doing for every single page, and it's just a remarkable thing to behold. We've actually been done with the book since December. So it was a little over 7 years total for him to draw it. And now we're just putting the final touches and adding some bells and whistles to get it to production. But yeah, it was a monumental undertaking, and he has just exceeded every expectation.
So where are we going at with this? Are we thinking like a limited, run here, long form narrative, and obviously leaving room to expand it to all sorts of different mediums? We know.
Sure. It is right now. It is a deluxe 8-issue series that comes in a standard comic format and an oversized treasury format that will show off the art in all of its glory.
That sounds the only way to go here.
Yes. So that'll run for 8 issues, and then there will be a television show and a video game and a movie and a lunchbox and a breakfast cereal and a slip and slide and shoe line and I don't know, hats, balloons, party favors, sleds.
We're sleeping your schedule.
Water guns.
Where is sleeping your schedule? Seriously, dude. Like, man.
There is an enormous team at Skybound that does everything for me, and I take all the credit. So I sleep like a baby, and they get no time off. And I dream up crazy ideas. Hey, let's try to do this. And they're like, okay. And then I'm like, cool, let me know how that goes. And then I go work on other things. So I'm doing fine. Don't worry about me.
Okay. Sounds good. Because you go to Energon, and it's just like, it's still continuously. Robert.
What?
Sorry. And now to move to Energon, which is just continuously growing in itself here. And again, you have another new project dropping. You have the game, and now you have this. What has really been the biggest challenge, but its biggest reward in expanding this universe?
Well, everything with the Energon Universe is just me feeding my inner child. I love those characters so much. And I have loved working on the Energon Universe and expanding the world and adding characters and putting the characters in a different light, and working with Daniel Warren Johnson and Josh Williamson on the G.I. Joe stuff has been a real delight. And when Daniel was leaving Transformers with issue 24, I begged him to stay because I absolutely love what he's doing on the book. But once he was very definitively, please stop coming to my house. I don't know how you got this address. It is very late. You are waking my kids up. They're terrified. Please go home. Once I accepted that he was going to leave the book, you know, I was just like, I have to take this on because I love the Transformers so much. You know, when we were starting the universe, I was like, I'm so busy, I couldn't possibly. And I liked Void Rivals and doing new stuff, but now I'm excited about being able to do Void Rivals and Transformers at the same time. I won't be shoehorning all the Transformers I love into Void Rivals as much because I get to write them in Transformers. It's going to be great. We're going to be expanding the world, adding new characters, and killing some characters off, and also Megatron. Megatron, largely absent in the first 24 issues, just shows up towards the end. Greatest villain. And now I'm getting to write a lot of Megatron, so it's going to be a very Megatron-centric book to a certain extent.
I was literally going to ask you, like, is there any like storyline or comic piece that you're like, you know, very much excited for in the Energon universe? You think that, you know, fans will be very excited to see unfold?
I think the thing I'm most excited about is the legacy of these characters and how ingrained in our lives they are, and trying to figure out a way to say, okay, everyone knows who Optimus Prime is. Everyone loves Optimus Prime because of A, B, C, and D. Is there anything I can do to show you a different side of him? Is there anything I can do to get you to see him in a different light, to, experiencing him in a different way? Anything that, and him losing his arm and getting his arm replaced by Megatron's arm is a good example of that. Like, to make Optimus Prime feel new, that's what we're trying to do with the Energon universe. And so we're going to hopefully be doing more of that as my run progresses.
Amazing. Now we're going to Invincible, the TV, the series here. You know what? How about we go this route? Invincible, we all know what it is. We love it, we appreciate it. We could talk about the season, but I'm curious for you, if there was a possibility to do some crossovers with all things at Skybound, what would you like to see? Like Transformers in the Invincible universe, or vice versa?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, man. I think crossovers are a lot of fun, but I also love how things stand on their own, and so I would hate to have to like be mashing stuff together and it not, and like it lose its integrity, like Walking Dead and Transformers. I'd never do that. Cause Rick Grimes is like, oh cool, now there's a 2-story tall robot. Like, what do I do with this? That's ridiculous. So anything that would make sense. But I mean, we do so much cool stuff at Skybound between the Universal Monsters line and the Energon universe and the Invincible stuff. And I think that there's things like Ultra Mega and Ghost Pepper that are like completely original ideas that are just absolutely excellent. And there's any number of those. I think would really mesh well. Ultra Mega and Transformers would probably be the one that I think would make the most sense and work.
That. Oh yeah. Is there any like moments with Invincible that you just kind of look back, and we're talking about the anime series here, that you just look back on screen in any season and you be like, we nailed that?
Man, every time I hear Jeffrey Morgan say, "I'm so lonely," I'm just like, here we go. I could watch that scene so much. He nailed that scene. I was referencing, I always have to go back and watch the show for reference because I'm old and I forget things, and I want to make sure that everything is, But I was watching the first season, and I highly recommend this if you've just been watching season to season. Go back, watch the first season.
Okay.
And listen to Stephen Young's portrayal of Invincible, because he has changed so much over the 3 seasons. Stephen is such a spectacular actor. Yeah. He has clocked every tragedy that Invincible has lived through, and he is weighing his performance down based on them. Yeah. And it's so subtle that you almost don't notice it. But if you've just watched season 3 and you go back and watch season 1, you're like, it's like a completely different character.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he deserves to be nominated for an Emmy, which actually just happened.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Because I think it was season 1. I was very big on Steven's performance there, but I think this is also the year his film Minori came out, and I was like, he is grease lightning hot right now. Like, if you don't know, you should know. Like, he's hitting on all cylinders, and it's unfortunate that they didn't win the Oscar that year. But like, it has been such a beautiful thing to see his performance grow over the seasons, and he's a fantastic actor, and obviously we all wish him a lot more success.
Steven has to buy a new award shelf every year, so don't worry about Steven. He's like, oh, I gotta get a bigger one? Come on.
Well, listen, this San Diego Comic Con. You know, this is the place that brings the biggest fandom energy out. What is something that you've seen that you experienced at the con that you generally are just hyped for as a fan, or just something you're going to be talking about for the rest of the year?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, the boys in Gen V. I see a Gen V train go by. That's always fun. I mean, I think I'm going to be gone by the time this airs. I'm in a hotel that has a Walking Dead billboard on the side of it, and I didn't know that when I was making the reservation. So I get out of my car and I'm like, oh man, come on. But that's always cool. You can't beat that
At all.
But yeah, I don't know, man. There's fun stuff that I'm always excited about.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly involving Transformers and GI Joe and things.
How's your pockets when it comes down to hitting the floor? I wonder what your collection is. Do you buy a lot of stuff when you hear it all?
Maybe
I could imagine.
I'll pick up the odd GI Joe here and there. I'll buy some stuff. I buy some stuff for my kids. It's not for my kids.
I know. You can't fool me. I use that excuse too. Robert, thank you so much for your time today, man.
Thank you.
It's always a complete honor to be in your presence. And man, again, I'm going to keep continuously emphasizing. Get some sleep, but yeah, keep creating because all this stuff you do, I'm signing up.
I slept like 3 hours last night. Leave me alone.
Appreciate your time today.
All right, man. Good talking to you.